and Good morning, Hank. I just watched your video and it got me to thinking. I kind of hate the internet. But truthfully, that's because I really love the internet. Much like my love-hate relationship with my car. When I first moved in by myself in this apartment, I didn't get the internet. This is because the internet is expensive, and it's also because the internet steals my soul. I noticed that I had a hard time waking up, and this is because I had a hard time going to bed, because there were so many amazing things that I just needed to be exploring. And I also didn't like the idea that I was dependent on the internet. I now couldn't live my life without it. So I'm here in my new apartment, and I have a computer, but I don't have the internet. And I've alerted everyone. But so many people, every day, would say to me, "Oh yeah, didn't you get my email?" "No, when did you send it?" "You know, this afternoon." I don't have the internet. The only way I can get your email is when I go to the library once or twice a week. And it made me realize not only how dependent we are as a society on the internet, but also how much more of everyone's time everyone asks for. So I kind of liked not having the internet. It was like sticking it to the man. I could still go use the internet because the public library has public access computers. So I realized that some of my professors especially really wanted me to be checking my email at least every several hours. Who says that I don't have other things to do besides sit around on the computer? There are so many things that I thought that I couldn't do anymore without the internet, which is ridiculous. When I moved in, I wanted to find out about public pools, and it took me a good while before I realized the phone book has all sorts of information about what's going on in the area. I don't really like to be dependent on much, and for this reason, I like to know how to do whatever I need to do, and I like to know how to make whatever I need to make. That's why I read these sorts of books. That's why I subscribe to these sorts of magazines. That's why I got one of these. I like human-powered things. I think that's why I like Nerdfighteria. Basically what I'm afraid of is that as more things are invented to make our lives easier, we no longer need to know how to do anything. But if those things break, we're screwed. I'll admit it. Sometimes I long for the 50s. But then I'm convicted by David Sedaris. Like anyone nostalgic for a time he didn't live through, I chose to weed out the little inconveniences. Polio, say, or the thought of eating stewed squirrel. The world was simply grander back then, somehow more civilized and nicer to look at. So I didn't want to have the internet, and I didn't want to pay for it, and I didn't want to be addicted to it as I previously was. And then my friend moved in upstairs. I thought to myself, she'll probably get the internet, but I'm not going to encourage her to do so. But if she does get the internet, I'll offer to split it with her. And that's exactly what happened. I've had the internet for about a year, and as time goes on, it becomes more and more addicting. So this friend is about to move out, so I'm planning on being without the internet, which is again sort of scary. And this is less because I don't know how to function without it anymore. This is because of YouTube. I don't text message. I feel that it cheapens communication. Like say I have my friend over and we'll be having a deep conversation and all of a sudden she takes out her cell phone and she starts texting someone. Am I boring you? Or that's just acceptable nowadays, apparently. I find focus is increasingly rare. I feel like a lot of online platforms cheapen communication. You have to be paying attention to so many things at once that you can't really be paying full attention to one thing at any given time. But something's different about YouTube. I feel like the vlogs are a step back in the right direction. John has been talking lately about things not being so black and white, about the gray area that we don't acknowledge. I'm really inclined to be a Luddite. I have a community garden plot. I think it's wonderful. I wonder, why doesn't everyone do this? And then we get hit with the late season blight. It's not that technology is good and the lack of technology is bad, and it's not like the lack of technology is good and technology is bad. I think there needs to be a balance. So I suppose I'll stop hating on the internet. Something to think about anyway. Until next time, DFTBA.